Many Canadians are struggling to meet monthly bills, according to a recent survey.
Yeah, the new Leger poll found nearly half of us are living paycheck to paycheck, with most young people likely to say their finances are in poor shape. People over 55 are likely to say they were faring well, and more men than women have reported being in stable financial situations. Job security also impacting those under 35 the most, with nearly half saying they were worried about losing their job in the next year.
The cost of living in Canada is sick. There is no more cost of living. There is only cost of surviving.
So people don't want to say this out loud, but here it is. Most Canadians aren't living anymore. They're just holding on. And
Canadians, make this make sense. Every aspect of our lives are being taxed into poverty. Whether it's gas, groceries, income, carbon, you name it, it has a tax on it. And we're told it's necessary in order to run this so-called system.
Meanwhile, massive money laundering is happening right in front of our eyes through housing and real estate, offshore shady donations. This is the kind of thing that draws up the prices and brings down the economy.
It's obvious what's taking place. It's money laundering. We can't lie. We all know.
85% of Canadians right now are currently living paycheck to paycheck. That means 85% of people are struggling to keep the lights on, keep the bills paid.
Yo, taxes in Canada are so cooked, because what do you mean I'm paying 40%? 40% of my hard-earned money to the government, bro? Like, tell me what the hell the government's doing. Are they scaling my clients for me? Last month I did $55,000 personal profit. Apparently I have to pay $27.5 thousand in taxes, bro. Like, I'm so cooked. I actually have no clue why I still live here, bro. Like,
Canadian grocery store prices are getting out of control. In 2026, you're expected to pay $17,500 a year on food. Guys, that's outrageous. And on top of that, as it's getting more expensive, they're also poisoning you with overprocessed, low-quality, genetically modified food that's been chemically treated from start to finish. They're literally poisoning you and robbing you at the same time. It's actually getting so bad that Canadians are winning class action lawsuits against grocery chains for jacking up the prices illegally. So let me ask you, how much are you paying for groceries every week? And do you still think Canada's the best country in the world?
Can someone help me understand how it's $35 just to make tacos now? Like, used to make tacos because it was like a meal you can make super cheap. I just went in the grocery store to only buy things I needed to make tacos, and it's $35. What the fuck is going on? This is fucking nuts.
So it's Friday, it's payday for some people. How many of you come probably Monday are going to be broke? Paycheck is all gone and you still have to survive for the next 2 weeks until your next paycheck. That is a horrible feeling to feel like that when you are broker than a joke. You still have to put food on your table. It's not a pleasant feeling, is it? I know that feeling all too well because I have been there. I am a single mom. I work in healthcare. I am from Manitoba, Canada, and my name is Tracy. And living in Canada fucking sucks you dry. Being a single parent in Canada, living on one income, is just not doable because of the rising cost of everything that is going up, and the only thing that is not going up is your paycheck.
Hello guys, and happy new week. And you should also remember that this week is the week that Christians and those who celebrate Christmas are going to celebrate Christmas. And if you are celebrating Christmas this year, Merry Christmas in advance. So, in today's episode, Canadians are ranting. And they are ranting for a very valid reason. Most of the Canadians are living from paycheck to paycheck. The government has pushed them to the wall to an extent. They need to work 2 to 3 jobs so that they can just survive, not to mention living in Canada. And apparently, these jobs that they are working, the government is overtaxing Canadians. According to Canadians' report, this is according to Canadians' perspectives. And Not to mention even taxes, the cost of living in Canada is super expensive. Prices of basic needs have skyrocketed to an extent some of the Canadians are confessing that they can't even bear to afford groceries, not to mention the basic needs they need to survive in Canada. Most of them are even confessing that they are not living, they are just holding on. They are forced to work from paycheck to paycheck. And right now, majority of the Canadians, they are also confessing that they are financially paralyzed. And the situation in Canada is so outrageous for them to rant. And in this video, let's watch what this Canadian rant, then we shall be sharing our opinions at the end.
Okay, but tell me why I'm working overtime and I'm still freaking broke. And now, don't get me wrong, I make good money. I make over $25 an hour. But I do have 3 kids and a wife, and let me tell you, leading a family is financially stressful. I work all the overtime I'm allowed to get. Anytime I can get any overtime, I always work it. But no matter how much overtime I work, it doesn't seem like this paycheck to paycheck thing will ever end. And that's just something that I deal with and I kind of internalize and I don't talk about. But I can't be the only one that feels this way, right? I mean, surely there are other people out there who are tired of just getting by, man. Like when I was in high school just 10 years ago, like $10 or $12 an hour was really good money. And I remember thinking if I could just get out and make $15 an hour, I'm set. I'll have a good savings. I'll be able to afford a house, a car. I'm 29 years old. And though some of it is, actually I would say a lot of it is because of some of the decisions I made in my teenage years and early adulthood. A lot of why I don't have a house is because of the economy and how shit is just expensive. Like I don't know, it's disgusting to be honest. Like just to live and not have any money to do anything with. If you agree, let me know in the comments. But what are we doing about it? That's another thing. You know, instead of complaining about it, what are we doing about it? Let me know some side hustles. I've tried a whole lot of stuff, but mostly this TikTok right here. If you've watched to this point, you're helping me get to that goal, so I appreciate it. Even if only 200 of you end up seeing it.
How the fuck does this make any sense? Our people in Canada are losing jobs while we sit at the 3rd largest oil reserve in the world. But our fabulous government keeps fucking it up. Hear me out. Canada, 40 million people. Oil, gas, mining, forestry, diamonds, hydro. Resources everywhere. Now check this out. Saudi Arabia. Similar population, fewer resources, but they give their citizens oil checks every month. 0 income tax, 0 sales tax, and national debt that's a fraction of ours. Meanwhile in Canada, $2.1 trillion in debt, 40+% income tax, 13% sales tax, and layoffs hitting every single industry. This isn't bad luck, this is bad leadership. Countries with less are thriving and we're drowning in debt, taxes, and unemployment. If you really think it's bad now, wait until we see mortgage renewals hit. When banks tighten up the lending and our jobs keep bleeding up. This is not sustainable anymore. And if you're sitting back and watching it collapse, it's on you. Build a second stream of income now while you still can and while you still have some type of income coming in. Because once shit really hits the fan, you're cooked. And this video isn't out there to make you scared. It's to make you aware and prepared.
So the craziest part about living in Canada right now is that you can have a full-time job, sometimes 2, and still feel like you're treading water with a backpack full of bricks. And it's not in your head. It's not because you didn't budget properly or you aren't disciplined enough. It's because the numbers simply don't add up anymore. The average Canadian now needs $79,000 a year just to cover basic expenses. And yet the average full-time worker earns about $63,000. So that means that millions of people are starting every year $16,000 in the hole before they've even bought groceries or paid a single bill. And look, speaking of groceries, food prices have jumped over 20% in recent years, with essentials like bread, meat, and produce hitting historic highs. Like, groceries are now cheaper in Europe than they are here. Parents are skipping meals so that their kids can eat. Adults are choosing between gas and groceries, rent and electricity. And these aren't irresponsible people. They're teachers, nurses, tradespeople, office workers, people who did everything right. And what's even more insane is that while wages went up only 4.5% last year, essential costs rose nearly twice that. So inflation might be slowing down, but the damage is done. Prices didn't go back down, and they won't. This is the new baseline, brutally expensive. And the advice we keep getting, cut back, cancel subscriptions, stop buying coffee. Are you fucking kidding me? You could never buy another latte in your life, and that wouldn't make a damn bit of difference in a world where rent is up 12% over last year, mortgages have doubled, and interest rates are eating people alive. Like, this is not a budgeting issue. This is an income issue. The middle class has been priced out of its own country, and the only people who are getting ahead are the ones who figured out how to make money outside the traditional system. Now, look, I'm not saying you're going to make millions overnight, but there are people earning, 5, 10, even 25 grand a month online because they stopped relying on a job that barely covers survival and learned digital skills that actually pay. They learn to build income on their own terms, income that grows faster than inflation, income that doesn't require punching a clock, income that actually gives them breathing room. And once you see that people are doing this from laptops at home, like, you start to wonder why the hell you're killing yourself for scraps. Like, I used to think the only way to get ahead was to work harder, but hard work doesn't necessarily mean what it used to, right? Not when costs are skyrocketing faster than paychecks. So the moment I learned digital marketing, everything changed. Like, I realized my earnings didn't have to be chained to a salary grid or a government payday, right? Like, I realized I could make more by learning a skill that businesses desperately need. And that's what I want other parents, hardworking Canadians, to understand.
Cost of living in Canada is sick. There is no more cost of living. There is only cost of surviving. My girlfriend and I met for coffees the other day, and she owes a little bit of money to the government, and she was crying to me, saying, I don't know what to do. I'm working 3 jobs. I'm a single mother. Like, I can't afford to live here anymore. So she had a call with the CRA, and the CRA ripped her apart. They said, it is unacceptable that you have not maxed out your credit cards to pay us. It is not acceptable that you are paying $1,000 a month in groceries for yourself and your 3 children. You need to cut back. So she said to them, you're telling me that you want me to take the food from my children's mouth to pay your greedy ass, when it's your fault that fucking groceries are astronomically priced right now. We are all in this together. We are all suffering together. The cost of living is killing people. Families are falling apart. People don't get to see their children because they have to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. I need to let people know that there's another way. And I'm telling you, you need to start looking into the world of digital marketing, digital products, digital sales. These are all things that you can do at home. Make them at home, build them at home, implement it at home, start marketing it at home, and start making the money at home. Working your 9 to 5 is barely getting you by. You're never going to get ahead. But I'm telling you, you need to do something, because this isn't going to get better. Watch what's going to happen in the housing market this year. Watch the price of groceries. Watch the price of gas. Like, we're not getting relief. This is not going away. So how are you going to get on top of it? What are you going to do to make sure that you and your family can survive? Fuck surviving. What are you going to do so that you and your family can thrive? Because it is possible. All you need to do is take the first step.
So people don't want to say this out loud, but here it is. Most Canadians aren't living anymore. They're just holding on. And before you roll your eyes and think I'm being dramatic, let's just talk about what's actually happening, because the numbers don't lie. The average Canadian now needs over $79,000 a year just to cover basic living expenses. Not vacations, not savings, not fun, just the cost of existing. Meanwhile, the median after-tax income is sitting around $68,000, which means even if you do everything right, work full-time, pay your bills, shop smart, cook at home, you're still falling behind over 10 grand a year. And that gap is widening. Rent is up 12% this year alone. Groceries are up 20% since 2020. Gas jumps up and down like a friggin' bad joke. Interest rates have taken mortgages that once cost $1,800 a month and turn them into $3,200 a month overnight. And somehow people are still being told to budget better while CEOs brag about record profits and the Bank of Canada shrugs, right? But here's the part that no one wants to admit. People aren't lazy, irresponsible, or living beyond their means for the most part, okay? They're quietly drowning, quietly, silently, pretending everything's fine because admitting the truth feels like an admission of failure. And if you're a Gen X parent, it's even worse. You're supporting aging parents, raising kids, paying mortgage, trying to save for retirement, and trying to put food on the table, all while your job expects more from you every year without ever giving you the financial breathing room you deserve. So, you know, you go to work tired, you come home tired, you wake up tired, and the scary part, most people think this is normal, right? But here's the real truth. We weren't meant to live like this, okay? The economy has changed, and the middle class didn't adapt because nobody told us we had to. We were told to stay loyal, you know, to a job, work harder, climb the ladder, save a little, and everything would work out. And that advice doesn't work anymore. And it hasn't for at least a decade. The only people getting ahead now are the ones who found ways to increase their income outside their 9 to 5. That's the uncomfortable reality. And no, I'm not talking about quitting your job or becoming a millionaire overnight. I'm talking about people who learned digital skills that they can do from home and suddenly start earning an extra $500,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month online, right? I'm talking about normal people, parents, workers, caregivers, people who thought they were too old for this stuff, who finally stopped trying to cut their expenses down to nothing and instead focused on creating more income.
I can't function anymore. I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and I can't function. I can't function. I can't pay my bills. I can't even literally keep gas in my car to get to work 3 days a week. I buy a loaf of rye bread and I work really hard to keep that one loaf of rye bread lasting me the whole week, and I eat peanut butter. So I'll eat peanut butter toast whenever I'm hungry. And it's been fine. It's been working just fine. I'm good with that. That's fine. But last week, I guess I was a little extra hungry a couple days, so I had toast in the morning and toast in the evening, which that's not in my budget. So I ran out of bread on like the Thursday or even the Friday, I don't know. Either way, at 47, I had to see if my mother could buy me a loaf of bread so that I could eat for the weekend before my daughter got home. I don't understand why things are so hard right now. I apparently make too much money to receive any financial benefits or help of any kind.
So a lot of these videos have been popping up on people's timelines about how there's so much struggle in Canada. I mean, this lady is saying she eats bread and peanut butter for the whole week, guys. She can't even eat it twice a day. She had to ask her mother at 47 years old. I think that's what she said. Is this the true situation in Canada, guys? I mean, she says she works 3 times a week, $30-something an hour. So maybe she's not working as much as people who are going there want to work. Because I was speaking to someone yesterday and he's saying his wife is already in Canada. She's converting a study permit to like a work permit. He's going to be going there. And I mean, they're excited about it. So let us know, people in Canada, what's really going on out there.
On my own opinion, it is not my opinion. These videos are about Canadian. The Canadians are the one who are telling us these things. The Canadians are the one who are experiencing this. They are the ones who are seeing and living this situation. And I believe none of them is mad to just wake up and start recording a video to say, it is not pretty over here. We are literally struggling. We are living from paycheck to paycheck and the government is not doing anything about it. In fact, they are charging us for just existing in Canada. Those are Canadians who are saying. And as I always say, unless there is will to change Canada, there will be no change. Change will only come if Canadians decide that they are going to do something. Because personally, I believe if we talk about housing, Canadian rant about housing, healthcare, paycheck to paycheck, high cost of living, inflation, overtaxation, immigration crisis, any other crisis that is affecting Canadians, if they continue ranting and not doing anything or something about it, it is just effortless, you see. But they should do something. Maybe next time, elect leaders, not politicians. Elect leaders who will work for you, not work for themselves, not work in their best interest. You should elect leaders who will work for Canadians. You see, if leaders don't want to listen to Canadians, and Canadians are the ones who elected them, it means that you just elected them to go and earn more money and steal from you guys. These leaders don't care about you. The leaders you elected, they don't give anything about you. They just care about themselves. And you should also remember, they earn more than you guys. And you are the ones who employed them. And they are the ones who are passing these policies and laws and overtaxation to you that are literally affecting you. So when Canadians say that we are living from paycheck to paycheck, high cost of living is affecting us, the high cost of groceries and inflation and the cost of living, we can't afford groceries and all these things, it means that there is something wrong with our leaders. Because clearly, guys, honestly speaking, who are we to blame? Should we blame Canadians that they complain too much? That they are just don't like the current government? Or should we just blame the government because they don't want to work for the Canadians? Personally, I believe these runs should be directed to the government, because if Canadians push the government to do something, they will eventually do something, because I believe that the Canadians are the one who put them in office. They should work for Canadians, not working for themselves. Remember, take this point home. Any politician in office will never and can never suffer. And any politician you elect will live a very lavish life. Not to mention the salaries they get. Not to mention some of them are even corrupt behind the scene. To be honest, some of them, the allowances they receive, it is just enough for them to exist in years, to live peacefully and happily in Canada for years. But who are the suffering ones? Of course, the Canadians. So my opinions are, I believe it's high time we stop talking and decide to talk to our leaders. Call them out. Remind them that we need help. We need you to help us, guys. We can't be suffering, and we elected you to air our voices in the house, to air our grievances in the house. Remind the Prime Minister, remind the government to do something for us, because we are literally suffering and Canada is not Canada anymore. Some of us are not even surviving, not to mention holding on. You should help us, because we just talk to your leaders. Because I believe this wrath should go to the leaders. Because if we continue complaining and complaining and complaining without doing something, then these complaints we will just watch, make videos of it, comment on it, and then it all ends there. Then we come back to square one, to zero. We start crying. Just remind your leaders that they should work for you guys. That's all I can say. Comment, tell me what are your opinion, subscribe this channel. It's not all about race, it's just about facts.